Hi guys, Leslie Burns talking about planning of corporate seminars or events, specifically meetings and things like that. I bring that up to you because that's one of the things that many of you who work for corporations will have to do. Planning things for the job, planning for your boss, planning special meetings. When you are asked to do this, a lot of times it's not your job. You don't know how to do it. You just know that your boss, maybe Joe or Tom or David, wants something done, and you know it needs to be done right, and David doesn't have time to do it, and you really don't have time to do it, but it needs to get done. So one of the first things you need to think about first is pulling out your notebook, seeing, or notepad, or however you take notes, asking the person who is asking you to plan the event what their expectation is. How do they expect this meeting to go? What should it look like? Is it going to be a fun meeting where people are going to be drinking and dancing? Or is it going to be a sit down with a serious presentation and overheads? Is this going to be a conference room that they're looking for? Are they looking for something outdoors? Will it involve meals or dinner? How many days are they thinking about? Is this something where the people will show up at 8 in the morning and be done by 5? Or are we looking at lunch and breaks in between? Or is it just an hour meeting? Is this something that's going to be a week-long meeting in maybe another city or another state? Once you have the basic overview, ask them how much involvement they want to have with the planning of this meeting. One, if it is something where they're just saying, go for it, plan it, get it done, okay, that's different. You have a lot of leeway. But if they're saying, come back to me and let me know what you find out, that's another thing. But you need to know what their expectation is for communication. Okay, now we're talking about budget. How much money are they expecting to spend on this thing? Because if you talk to someone and let's say your boss says, I want you to plan a corporate meeting for 10 people and I want to spend about $1,000. Okay, we know this is probably going to be a one-day affair because $1,000 for 10 people is $100 a person, and that's not going to go very far. You're not going to have any travel expenses, so this is definitely not an overnight meeting. But if he says, well, we're going to do overnight, we're going to pay for the hotel and some meals for 10 people and want them there for 3 days, the expectation is that the budget is going to be set according to the expenses, and it's going to be very different. So you're going to first have to find a venue, meaning a hotel for these people to stay. If he does not want to use the hotel facility for the meetings, because most hotels have meeting rooms or executive board rooms, conference rooms, places where you can have the meeting as long as they're not booked. If he does not want to use that facility, then what was he or she, I don't want to be sexist here, what was the person thinking as far as where the meeting space would be? Lots of places have wonderful meeting spaces, so you could meet on the campus of a university, you could meet at places like Dave & Buster's, you can meet in a restaurant. It all depends on what they felt the feel of the meeting should be. Once you know what they feel, again, is the feel of the meeting, what the budget is, city, where they're planning it, how many days, and things like that, then you can get on with the business of actually planning the meeting. First and foremost, you need a place for your people to sleep if this is an overnight situation, so you want to call a couple hotels, not just one. You can call, your favorites, whether it's Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, Holiday Inn, whatever, Ritz-Carlton. These Embassy Suites, these are all different types of hotel facilities that you can use, and once you let them know that you are shopping, make no commitment, they will start to pull out a lot of the best discounts for you. And once you have told them, okay, this is how many people, this is how long, they will tell you what they can do for you. And oftentimes their event planner or director of sales and catering, those are the people who you'd be meeting with or talking with, they will assist you with the planning and help you to get things in place. Once you have that in place, then you of course need to know if you're going to need speakers. You want to call them early to get them booked. Oftentimes your boss or the managers or whomever have ideas about people that they would want to come in and speak on behalf of the company about whatever topics or teachings. Those are the next steps. And then of course you want to look for meeting space within those facilities or nearby. A lot of times, if it's a large enough meeting, you have rooms that people are sleeping. The hotel will even throw in meeting space, but it depends on the market. It's just like the price of bread or the price of eggs. It depends on supply and demand. It depends on how easy it is for the hotel to book those rooms or to collect money for those rooms. If it's in high demand, you're probably not going to throw anything in. But if it's a remote location off to the side where they don't get a whole lot of meetings, they probably will throw in the meeting space. So that's something you need to discuss with the hotel. And there's a lot that go into the contracts for the meeting space, so we won't cover that here. You can definitely write to me if you have any questions or contact me in any way. And then, of course, I'm going to refer you back to my book, because my book is coming out and teaching you how to plan these events all the way down to the lighting and all the way down to contract signing, and I mean just every single nuance and detail that you will need to know. So that's something you can look forward to. But anyway, so you've got your place, you've got the number of guests. Now you need to find out if you are planning the travel arrangements for these folks. Travel arrangements can be hectic because people are coming from different cities, and you're going to need to knuckle down the exact times of departure and the exact times of arrival before booking. Discuss with the individuals who are doing the traveling, and then once you know for sure that they're in, let them know. If there is any change after the travel has been booked, they will pay the difference in travel fees. So if you have a plane that's taking off from their city at 1 o'clock and landing at 4 o'clock, and all of a sudden after the flight has been paid for, this person realizes, oh, I cannot leave at 1 o'clock. The flight can be changed, but the airline does it for a fee. That individual needs to incur those expenses, and therefore the $50 or $75 or $100 fee is not coming out of your budget. Hopefully everyone's making their own flight arrangements or travel arrangements, driving in. It can be, again, hectic with travel, but if you have to do it, that is the very next step you want to get to, because the lower fares are offered earlier, unless you just happen to catch some type of bargain from the airline. Okay, so now we've got our venue, now we've got some sleeping rooms, we know where we're having meetings, and we have the travel. Let's also talk about food, catering. If you look through your 2 or 3 hotel options and you find one that you feel is the best fit for your group, you're going to, of course, start negotiating a contract. Once you have a contract with them, you're also going to be dealing with their catering staff. Catering is usually very separate and different from the sales department. However, that is something you should at least talk about up front, even if you're not getting down to the nitty-gritty of the color of linen. By talking with them, they kind of understand your expectation, and they can let you know, yes, we will be able to accommodate you, or no, we cannot accommodate you. No surprises. Once your contract is signed and you are now talking with catering, that department is the one that will tell you about color of linens and table settings, and you will tell them your expectations and whether or not you want to do, certain changes, upgrades, or finding ways even to downgrade a little bit to cut on costs. And usually they will have a minimum of food and beverage that is being charged according to your meeting. It's not an arbitrary number that they just pick out of a hat. It is based on the size of your group and what it would be for them to help you put this event on. And then you will know, okay, at least that amount is going to be charged for my event no matter what happens here. And then everything else kind of falls in place. If you're going to have entertainment, again, you need to reach out to, a band or a DJ or whatever. If it is just speakers coming in, if that is a very simple, easygoing meeting, and it's just making sure you have the materials set up. Talk with your boss to find out who is providing the actual physical material. Is somebody providing an overhead? Are they bringing copies for everyone? Or do you need to make sure that things are copied or labeled or stapled or put together in a book or packets or whatever? That's where you may need some admin help, or with enough lead time, any one individual can do it, but you just want to make sure that you know what the expectation is. Are there going to be any giveaways? Are people going to have, coffee mugs to take home or bags to put their materials in, custom printed maybe? Those are things that are the next steps for you. If you have any other questions, that should give you a good running start on planning meetings and seminars. We'll talk at a later point about expos and trade shows and things like that. But for now, let's start with the very simple meeting and things for corporate clients, and hopefully even just for the businesses that you work in. So if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, and it's info@goldcrowneventplanners.com. Thanks. You have a great day.